Last night, I know you're talking with Cal, but just last night's win, how did you guys pull that one out and end the road trip on a high note there?
Obviously not our offensively our best game, but obviously first things first, Al stood on his head. I think we saw that last year with all of our goalies. I think they all have the ability to win games. Even Talbs earlier in the year. We're always confident with our goaltenders and what they can do. But I thought first two periods a little sloppy, but third period I thought we did a good job of really hunkering down. I mean, 1-0 lead in a tough road trip. Trying to close it out, I thought we did a really good job. A lot of guys made some really good plays. Penalty kill stepped up big. I know struggled on that in the last couple games, and that was we had some big kills last night. So just a combination of things, but definitely defensively, as bad as our offense was, held the team to 0 goals is not easy to do.
Have you seen the defense kind of take some steps early on this season? I know that usually talks about the Rangers games kind of just standing out as maybe not great outliers, but just defensively, where do you like where you guys are at?
I think it's definitely a point of emphasis on our team. I think the biggest thing, it's funny, I think we're kind of inflicting the defense upon us right now, and that's never good. I know we're responding to it well, but I think the fun part about our team is when we could play that good defensively without causing it upon ourselves, instead of turning the puck over every other shift and letting odd mans come back. When we could just start the game and just have our offense and play that way defensively without having to cause it, that's when our team's going to really be pretty solid, and once that goes, I think that's going to be good for our team.
How beneficial is it just to find different ways to win? Obviously, every game you can learn and pull something from, but just finding a way to win and kind of that benefit of that.
Yeah, especially this early on. Those are the games that you just need to find a way to grab a point or two. I guarantee you there's going to be a game where we play our asses off and somehow we end up losing by a goal, and you're going to be like, how the heck did we lose that game? That happens so many times in the NHL. I guarantee you another team wins tomorrow with very few shots. It's just funny things like that happen. Obviously, it's not sustainable in the long run, but when you have those opportunities, you have to get those points. And I think we talked about it in between periods, saying how big of an opportunity that was. We didn't have our game, but to walk out of there with 2 points, 4 points on the whole trip is take that every day.
Last one for me, a couple big points tomorrow night against the Devils. What are the things you guys are seeing from them, and what's kind of the focus going into tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's a high-flying offense, obviously. You always watch their games or their scores. They're always putting up a lot of goals. Usually when you play them, it's kind of a little bit back and forth. Obviously, they have some really high-end, talented players with the Hugheses and Bratt. Fischer. There's a lot of guys that fast transition game. So I think we just can't turn the puck over with them. You turn the puck over, you'll be chasing it back to our end the whole night. But same approach as probably most games. We have to play our game, obviously. A little bit more offensive, hopefully. Get some touches going in the O-zone. Probably more O-zone time will help. But more usually come on with the same mindset almost every game.
Everything is fluid, but are you going to give Marco a look on the power play there?
Yeah. Mark actually played both games on the weekend. This road trip on the power play, a little bumper. Today was just a different look against PK. We'll probably be facing, but this will be the third game in a row. Marco gets some power play time.
It's a pretty nice compliment to a young guy who's only played a handful of games.
I think it's still maybe a little bit of the developing on the fly. Those touches are important, but he does good things. He puck retrieves. He'll get on top of the goalie. It's just part of him coming up is us seeing him in all three facets of the game: power play, PK, and obviously 5-on-5.
Could you clarify where your roster's at with Tyler? Is he on IR or does he count against?
No, I think with Tyler, and again, I'm not exact, probably need our capologist guy in here, but with him being unavailable with an upper body, it only gives us 11 forwards. So I think we're able to use Marco in an emergency situation to give us a full roster of forwards.
Are you still calling him like day-to-day, basically, or?
Mater, yes. Yeah, he'd be in that day-to-day range. Obviously, wasn't able to skate today.
Just 6 games in, what areas of growth have you seen from Edvinsson?
A ton, just situational stuff. I think 2 really tough games on the road. in which we are protecting a lead late, and he's right in it with the big minutes. Last night, he almost played the entire goalie pull, and he was excellent. Had a couple stands on a couple of their entries, used his reach, obviously scored the open netter to give us some distance in the game in Nashville. Consistency, especially playing in that top pair. It's been a really good sign for us, but we're going to need that consistency going forward.
I know things are fluid, but you like that Sider and Edvinsson.
I do. When they're playing both at a high level, which they did on the weekend.
You talked about the reach. How big a part of his kind of defensive game is his defensive stick?
Big part of it. Hard to get around when he's using a proper stick. As part of being a really good defender. I think both can play at that level with that reach. So it's a big part of it, yes.
Derek, is that defensive end? I mean, you've been at your 30th year now.
Yep.
Just watching him, is that where he's grown the most?
Defensive, yes. But I think the growth has come with consistency. I think from day one, me showing up here, you saw the flashes of his ceiling and how high it could be. Someone's going down here. But I think this consistency, and even throughout this year, even it's a small sample size, you talk about 6 games, you see a little up and down in his play, but over those 2 games on the road, he played a very high level.
From a player like development perspective, I'm sure as a coach you look at his physical tools and the reach and everything. You know that's a tool he has. When it comes to using it at the NHL level, is it something that has to be taught? Is it just?
Oh yeah, I think there's detail to it. Video, stick on puck. You see the one-on-one breakdowns within the D zone. Us building up our D zone in practice. Yeah, of course, that's positioning. Him owning his space. Even him being big and getting push-offs with 2 hands on a stick, and then the one-hand puck on stick, and then directing angles and traffic with a stick. Big part of it. Yes, that is learned and developed.
Is there part of playing with him, Mo, too, where there's a bit of a side effect where Mo, just by the nature of his age, is typically been playing with a guy who's older than him. This one of the few times he's playing with where he's a little bit more experienced. What's it been like for you to kind of see Mo be like, okay, I'm the guy who knows, I'm the guy with 164
Maybe
games.
the mentor.
Yeah.
That's. I'd never thought of it like that. It is unique. That Mo's probably in a mentor situation with that pair, which is good. Mo's got experience in this league now. He's growing in his game. You want him to take more on. I think that's part of it. So yeah, positive.
With Casper, it seems as though he and Berggren have been finding some chemistry together. What have you seen from that combination?
Well, I just think Berggren is playing at a really high level right now. I think he's driving some lines. Even some of our underlying numbers. He's leading our team in chances produced, even in chance differential, which is a positive. So that's him creating, but that's him not giving up too. So we've been really happy with Jonathan and his commitment to play all 200 feet and still produce some offense. So that's a positive. So I think there's it's chemistry, but I think both are just playing at a really good level and working off each other. We've had different looks on the wing for them too. So that's a positive for us, certainly.
It looks, at least to me, like he's been doing better along the walls. Is it fair to say that's
way better? That's a great observation. Point of emphasis, taking pride in it. I mean, I honestly, obviously, we watch back and we go through these so in depth, but I don't remember a sloppy, loose wall turnover, which was a bad habit of his consistently in the past, which again, a sign of his growth.
When you watch back the breakouts from last night, where do you think you guys can improve with those?
The breakouts?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Probably we had a couple turnovers early on, but again, we played a pretty clean game. We had our overall turnovers in the game was in that high teens, low 20s. That gives you a chance to win. Again, I thought our breakouts, our defensively, we'll take that game every time defensively. I think we only gave a couple grade A's, a couple of dangerous slot looks all night. But obviously, we didn't produce much offensively. But yeah, I think breakout-wise, I'm comfortable. I think we improved as the game went on. The first period was a bad period. I love our puck play. And we got bailed out by Alex there, but to the guy's credit, something we addressed after the first. I thought as the game went on. In the third period, I thought we were excellent.
What are you seeing from the Devils early on this season, and kind of how are you guys preparing for them tomorrow?
High octane, obviously they score goals, well-balanced team. You could see on paper it was stacking up as an elite team in the league, and I don't think they've done anything to disappoint. They're probably having some ups and downs. Obviously they gave up 8 the other night. I'm sure they'll improve on that with a couple days of practice here before we play, but he had a really good test for us, another good test against an elite team in the league, which looked a lot early on. Looking to see and excited to see how we respond to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Derek.